Oh, do I feel good today, despite the fact that the streak has now come to an end. Give a lot of credit last night to the Miami Dolphins. They came out here to the west coast of SoFi Stadium, and they got the job done, basically shutting down the Rams and their offense for the entire day. Now, today, it's kind of like the normal day where other brands and other shows kind of exhale, and they say, you know what? Let's wait till we get to Thursday. Not us. You guys know we bring it strong every single day, and we really start to look at the NFL starting today. Also, got a couple of big announcements I want to make here in just a couple of seconds. But before we do that, let's take a look at how we did last night. And I don't like being 0-2, but it is what it is, and you guys know that's the world of sports betting. AB, again, solid 3-2. So kind of a ho-hum day for the crew as far as Monday Night Football is concerned. Never forget, we've got tons of content. And the YouTube page has never been more important than it is right now. I need everybody out there to subscribe, like, share the content, and on your way in, hit that like button. It really helps the show grow. You know we have a brand new podcast every single weekday. Audio drops around 2 p.m. Eastern time, courtesy of our partners at Pantheon. And then also the video is a crew exclusive at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Now, the Howie Schwab Crew Player of the Day selections are these as we get into college basketball for real. Duke, top 10 team. Kentucky no longer has John Calipari. He just landed his second top 10 recruit at Arkansas. Boom and boom. Duke, Kentucky over 160, under 160. Producer man will let me know at the end of the show what these selections are. Now, before I bring in the crew, we got a couple of really cool announcements to make today. Been waiting for this. The plan was never to be live forever at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Nothing will change as far as our YouTube brand is concerned. It's big. It's growing. That's where we're going to stay. But Stadium wanted us to do them a solid as they were starting to ramp up their rebrand. We said we'd do it to get the brand out there, but it was always the show's performing incredibly well at 4 p.m. Eastern time to start that betting block. So that's where we will live permanently. Now, how do we expand? A lot of you out there love MMA, love our pro wrestling brand Behind the Turnbuckle. They are now prepared to bring that on board. Don't have the date or the time yet, but BTT will now also be on Stadium, and we're going to develop more MMA content with my role at PFL. So we're going to have all the brands on Stadium, and again, just 4 p.m. Eastern every day, which was always the plan. I'm super excited as we expand the brand, bring more talent in, and all of you have helped us make that way on all these big platforms, including now on DirecTV. So hopefully that makes sense. Any questions, put them on my Twitter, put them into the chat. But I got a crew that is chomping at the bit to get started. So without further ado, it's time for the picks. And today, it's an embarrassment of riches. Look who I have at my fingertips. First time we've seen the young fella in about a week. Apparently, he got all of his homework done today. Young Peyton Lodge, live from Fort Worth, Texas. How are you, young sir?
I'm doing great, Coach. It's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful week so far in Fort Worth. So taking in the sun yesterday. Felt pretty good. It was pretty cold last week, so feeling good today.
Is that all? You want to tell us about going to the beach and boogie boarding and all that, or can
I got a little apartment complex here, Coach. Small little pool. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the amenities here at my little complex.
Apparently, guys, Peyton had all day yesterday to do nothing while we're out there grinding. Raphael, you're our numbers guy. Did you take yesterday off just because it was a holiday?
I can't remember last time I jumped in the pool just to relax because I had nothing to do. Must be nice. But I'm not going to bash on Peyton. Good morning, crew. Good morning, coach. Because he doesn't have a hat on. So that means the crew won't maybe making fun of me that I don't have a hat on. So thank you, Peyton.
Hey, he's got the lettuce, man. He's got to show off that incredible lettuce every single day. Now, he's become a bitter rival in only a week. We've got PrizePicks coming up in about 27 minutes from right now. Big Soupy, best beer in the game. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the crew. It felt so good yesterday to turn on my DirecTV, series recorded, DTL and DTL prime time.
Isn't that nice, man?
Wow,
Isn't that nice?
it.
Yes. Mondays and Thursdays will continue on Primetime Live as well on Stadium. Sundays will be an entire YouTube product. We have the best of both worlds now, and I could not be more excited. We've done it in 9 months because of all of you, and one of our OGs, last one to be introduced, but so important, the man from the dirty, Big Chuck. Morning.
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, I can agree with Peyton. After some dreary days, it's nice to see the sun out. It's a familiar location in my area, kind of close also. So nice to see the sun out. A beautiful day, ready to get it going.
Boom and boom. Now, let's quickly look back to last night because the NFL is always king here at DTL. And, Raphael, let me come back over to you because the game did not go how most of it, certainly how I thought it was going to go. The Dolphins came in, had timely offense, really good field goal kicking, but their defense was dominant all night long, getting their third win of the year. And for the Rams, debilitating because that division is so bunched up.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked at how poorly the Rams, they could not run the ball at all. And I was a little shocked at that one. I think that's why I liked the under, because I thought the Rams were going to be able to run the ball. But what an ugly game. Turnovers, just bad tackling. What's Tua doing trying to tackle? What are you, crazy? It was just a bad Monday Night Football game.
It kind of was. And Peyton, I know that Monday Night Football, you guys get together in the dorm or in your apartments and you watch, you got all your bets going 23-15. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. What did you make of Monday Night Football last night?
Yeah, no, I thought maybe that it wasn't exactly the Dolphins' defense. It was really, I think, Stafford making a lot of poor decisions that we haven't really seen much this year. There are a lot of guys open that he just didn't hit or he missed. And I was kind of surprised that, towards the end when Kyron Williams going over the middle, hey, here I am right here. Nothing. He throws it 10 feet over someone else's head. And just some poor decision-making from the quarterback.
Yeah, John agrees. Stafford not hitting Williams for the opening touchdown really killed him. And, Soupy, as we look at it, Stafford did hit his overs on his attempts, on his completions, on his yards. But a lot of that was because they were behind for the entire second half, and he had to throw almost every single time.
It was amazing that we basically saw the Miami defense we've been seeing earlier in the year. The last 2 weeks, they were last in EPA per play and last in success rate. This week, we saw the defense that we've been seeing. And Peyton is correct. Stafford was not getting to the ball to the receiver. We saw a lot of drops, but not necessarily because it wasn't in their hands, but just because he wasn't placing them right. And I was shocked that Jalen Ramsey was on Cooper Kupp more. I thought he was going to be on Puka a lot more, but he stayed in the slot. And that's why Kupp didn't really have the most successful game. Puka had a little bit more of a wide open space to get some catches.
Yeah, they actually both did, Charles, hit their overs for both. Puka, 9 for 98. Cooper, 7 for 80. So those both came in. But that's basically all. They never really threatened. And when they got down close, it was that Dolphins defense that stepped up. If they can play that way, they're certainly in the right conference to make a run now at 3-6.
I think so. Yeah, last night, the receivers, they kind of quietly got over those numbers, and it was kind of like a train wreck waiting to happen with Tua. I don't understand why he was trying to make a tackle head first. So, but I think this could be a regression point for him coming back on this game. I'm actually looking to fade him this week. So, they definitely have an opportunity, especially with the Jets faltering. The Bills is their main competition. So I think they definitely have a chance. They need to win this week. Last night was a great step towards that direction. So we'll definitely see how they progress this week.
Yeah, they welcome the Las Vegas Raiders to South Florida. And when you look at the wild cards quickly, right now the Chargers and Denver would have those spots along with the Ravens. But Miami's in the 6th spot, and they're only a half a game back of Indianapolis and Cincinnati, who are 4-6. So certainly they are not out of it. Gentlemen, we got to get to our picks because we need a bounce-back day. You guys need to pick me up. So, Raphael, big boy, let me come over to you first. Where are we going today on a day that has a little bit of college football, a little bit of NBA, a little bit of NHL, a little bit of I like today's slate. What do you got?
Yeah, it's a great slate with all these games, college hoops, NBA, but we're going to Tuesday and MEC action in college football. We're going to take Ball State team total over 24.5. even money. I'm shocked it's even money. Buffalo's D last 3 games is giving up 41 points a game. I know Ball State's only averaging 18 on the road, but that defense that Buffalo has been doing stinks lately. I'm taking Ball State team total over 24.5. And then we get Catman. Give me Karl Anthony Towns over 33.5 points and rebounds, minus 120. He's been crushing it on the boards. His last game against the Pacers scored 30 points. So that means I just need 4 rebounds because he's been averaging almost 28 a game. I like Cat's 33 points and rebounds tonight. He has a big game tonight. We're the matchup tonight.
Well, Japan says NBA Cup play. Let's go. We've already arrived. I absolutely, Young Peyton, love the fact that the NBA has put this tournament into the regular season. You got players that don't make a lot of money getting a nice bonus. We heard sound last year from guys like LeBron saying, hey, let's get that money for these young guys. And I think that's really motivating a lot of teams. I'm looking at it right now. 8 games on the docket. You've got 2 plays. Talk to me.
Yep, I'm sticking with the NBA Cup. I loved it last year, so I'm going to be all over it tonight. So people are first pick Suns minus 3.5 at minus 112. People are probably wondering why the Suns are only favored by 4. And it's just like you said, Coach, players who don't make a lot of money, who is basically 95% of the Utah Jazz roster, is going to be playing really hard tonight. But, give me Devin Booker, give me Bradley Beal. I don't care if KD's not playing. I'm taking the Suns minus 3.5 at minus 112. My next pick, Dallas Mavericks plus 2.5 at minus 110. The Mavericks have too much star power in Luka and Kyrie to lose 3 games in a row. They're coming off back-to-back tough losses. The first one by 1 point against Phoenix and a 2-point loss at Denver. I think they're going to win the game tonight, but I like plus 2.5 to be a little safer because I do think it's going to be a really close game.
Now, you can hit both of your plays, Young Peyton, and Charles can still hit his because we're going to a team total in that same game. The Warriors at home. Charles, it's a 10 o'clock Eastern start. Why do you like the Warriors offense tonight?
I dip my toe in the NBA Cup. Mavs, Warriors. Golden State, they come in averaging 121 points. In the Mavs, they allow 117 on the road in what should be a high-scoring affair. I'll go ahead and back the Warriors team total over 116.5, or you can look at the 117 even if that's the only prop offer.
All right, very, very good. There's so many different ways to bet these NBA games right now, and I love how my crew always finds different ways like Big Chuck just did. All right, Soupy, I know we got your prize picks coming up in about 20 minutes, but I'm looking at Ice. I'm looking at Maction. Talk to me.
I want Maction tonight. Ball State, Buffalo, both teams allowing 30 points, both teams scoring 30 points. Buffalo, they mostly run the ball, but Ball State is giving up the most yards per carry in MAC play. And Ball State, they're more of a passing team, and Buffalo gives up the 4th most yards per completion in MAC play. We are going to see a high-scoring game. And then the same thing on the ice. Maple Leaf Senators. Senators are actually playing pretty well, but they can't defend against a very good Toronto forward unit. But Ottawa, very good on the power play. So I think they're going to need some power play goals to stay in this game. But I got this game going at over 6 goals.
Boom and boom. By the way, Raphael, quick question from Japan. Celtics first half are minus 9.5, minus 110. They are home tonight against the Hawks. That seems like a high number for a first half play.
Yeah, especially in this in-season tournament, I would probably pass on that. If it was a regular season game, then yes, but this a lot of players want this extra money.
Great analysis there, Raphael. Thank you. All of 6 seconds. Appreciate that.
Man, I'm looking at the clock. Jeez.
Oh, you're looking at the clock. You're thinking about the clock. You're also thinking about producing. You're also thinking about content. That's why I love you so much. I'm just teasing you, big boy.
Just didn't want to get yelled at.
All right, we're just getting started. It's a vibe on a Tuesday. I told you, sometimes you're coming out of the club, you're getting done with NFL football, but no, we can never take a day off. Still to come, we look ahead to Week 11 in the National Football League. Also, Peyton and Soupy, they fire up the rivalry. What are we playing on Prize Picks today? We've got all that coming. It is DTL live for the last day on Stadium. All right, you degenerates out there, NFL news. And Soupy, the Bears, who've scored all of 27 points the last 3 weeks, count them 3 weeks, have decided they're going to fire their offense coordinator. Shane Waldron amid these struggles. I don't know if you guys saw, Zupi, all of the sound that came out of Chicago radio yesterday, but it is a dumpster fire in that city right now.
What do you expect when you have a rookie quarterback? Bears started really well at the beginning of the year. I think they exceeded their expectations, but this is what it is. It's a young team with a couple of good pieces, very good defense, but they're just not ready to compete yet. This is what we expected. This is more of just a Uberflus trying to take the blame off himself.
He better start, Charles, cleaning out his office right now to make it a little bit easier so in 2 or 3 weeks he can just walk out of the office. Corey said should have fired the head coach as well. A lot of people feel that way.
I could never understand why they brought him back, a defensive-minded head coach, knowing that you're getting the first pick in the draft is needing to put a good offense around him. So now the classic, a different offensive coordinator coming in, and he'll probably have another one next year, so he could have 3 offensive coordinators within 2 years. So, yeah, he's definitely gone. I'm interested to see who they'll bring in. So, yeah, it's really about the development of their first-round draft pick, and I never was a backing of Mr. Eberflus.
I don't think a lot of people were. Raphael, were you?
No, Uberflus should be working for Uber pretty soon because he's probably going to get fired. They missed out. They could have had Cliff Kingsbury, but they didn't want to pay him. Cliff wanted too much money. The Bears said, no, we ain't paying that. Now they're stuck with an Uber driver as their head coach for the next couple of weeks. They got their soul taken away in Washington. That's what the Bears happened.
It kind of feels that way, Peyton. You got about 15 seconds, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, they gave up 19 points to the Patriots, and they only scored 3 at home. I mean, what are we doing? I got faked out on that game. I took the Bears.
Did you really? You took the Bears at home. You can't fault you for that. I mean, that was embarrassing. 19-3 against Drake May, the fighting Drake Mays. Oh, the Bears 3, 9, and 15. I think that's adds up to 27. All right, we are back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, our beautiful Tuesday continues. The live number is popping. If you're in the chat, hit that like button for us. Can you please? It really helps the show grow. And do not forget that if you're a premium member, you get so much extra content as we look forward to the week that is. Now, it's NFL. And Raphael, I want to start with you because we have 3 big games I want to focus on this morning. And part of the reason we do this is because you can always beat the numbers, specifically the NFL. Lines move all over the place, so the books can have even betting across the board. And the Steelers now, we're starting to believe in them a little bit, Raphael. They've won 3 in a row with Russell Wilson at quarterback, and now they come back home. Big-time game against division rival, but they're the underdogs at home.
We are starting to believe them. The odds makers are not believing them because DraftKings has Baltimore 3.5. Give the Steelers some love. I can't understand this number. Baltimore has not been lighting it up. If you can stop the run game from Baltimore, which Pittsburgh probably can, it's going to be a much closer game. No love for Pittsburgh and those yellow towels. And you're at Pittsburgh. I know it's the first division game, but wow, 3.5.
And they've been so inconsistent, Peyton, the Ravens have. And even last week, 35-34, and if that 2-point conversion would have gone, they would have lost that game as well. I'm starting to think maybe the Steelers potentially at this number could be a nice little tease element.
I'm not. I hate the Steelers. This is an absolute rivalry game. I get it. But can we please not let the Steelers 7-2 record fool us? I mean, they play some great defense. I'll give it to them. They give up 16 points a game and second in the NFL. But, I mean, come on. They've beaten the Falcons, the Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Jets, Giants. They finally got their first respectable win on the road against the Commanders by 1 point. I mean, I don't think anyone should overthink this game. I'm taking the Ravens by with yesterday -3.5. Today it's 3.
Wow. Soupy, young Peyton is putting me in my place that the Steelers are pretenders. Is he right?
No, because they needed that early schedule with Russell Wilson getting back into the offense. Now they're getting into the divisions because I can't believe we're week 11 and they haven't played a division game. Their offense is flowing. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren are playing good on the run game. Russell Wilson and George Pickens are a great duo. And this is going to be a high-scoring game, I feel like. I love the over 47.5. I'm not going to pick a winner. I'm not going to pick a spread. I'm just going to pick the over because I think we're going to see 50.
Some of our OGs, they disagree. Big Cheesy says Peyton makes a lot of sense. Mark from Weekend Wager says, what? That's a horrible take. Charles, what says you?
I agree with my man Soupy. I think we're going to see a higher scoring game. This was 47.5. Now I'm seeing 48.5. It's moved a whole point towards the over. Plus 11 of their 12 combined games this season have went over that total. So they've been putting points on the scoreboard. But the Steelers are 7-3 in their last 10 versus the Ravens 6-3-1 ATS. So they've kind of had their number. Plus a higher scoring game may kind of benefit the Steelers, but I can't overlook this Ravens team getting 10 days off coming into this one. So I would still lean towards them in a higher scoring game.
28-27 last week against the Commanders. The Ravens 35-34 against the Bengals. Sometimes it's right out there in front of you. By the way, Texas Joel says Soupy needed to look smart today with the kid on the show. Brought out the pin prop. Did you do that on purpose, Soupy?
Maybe.
All right, game number 2. And Big Cheesy said I might have this glued to my head. Well, I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to wear this hat until the Chiefs lose. Last time I checked, they're still 9-0, Raphael. They still got it done in dominant fashion last week at home against the Denver Broncos. So now they go on the road. Don't look at me that way, Peyton. Do not look at me that way. It was dominant. Now they go on the road. And if a lot of people think it's smoke and mirrors, let's look at the number. The books believe the Bills are basically even because we know home field equals 3 points. They're favored by 2.5. If you want the Chiefs on the money line, it comes back our way at plus 115, the total at 45.5. Combined 17-2. To me, this is the game of the week. Raphael?
100% game of the week. But I take a step backwards because I think the Ravens lost to the Raiders and Browns. But we'll go a step forward now. This one's a little bit interesting because this one opened up at 1.5. Quickly got bet to 2. I think this closes at 2. I think the KC coaches' money will come in all weekend long to drop this number. I like Buffalo. I think Coach on Monday has a black hat, not a red hat on. I'm going Buffalo if I can get the lower number at 2, maybe even 1.5.
Peyton. Young Peyton. Whoa, do not interrupt my flow.
Sorry. Take a minute.
What I was going to say is that, Raphael, you haven't experienced the numbers guy at his heights because he was off last week. And now you're experiencing, he will take a shot at you right between the eyes. So I won't even deal with the Steelers take because he just called you out on that. Are you going to tell me that the Bills are also the team that you're going to be locked and loaded on as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry. After this week, we won't be seeing you wear that Chiefs hat for at least a couple weeks. They need to lose at some point, and this is, it's getting a little ridiculous. I don't know. I know it looks nice to take an undefeated team at, plus money, and it's going to be a close game at that, but the Bills are going to be taking this game. I think they're minus 130. What was it? 135 or I think they're
if you want to take the money line, probably minus 135, 140. You can do that if you want to be weak sauce. If you want to be weak sauce, you can. I'm trying to remember, Soupy, who last year went to Buffalo and won in the playoffs. Can you remind me of that?
Were they the Kansas City Chiefs?
Sorry, I got distracted looking at my beautiful face on Amazon Prime. Yes, that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. They also then the next week went to Baltimore and beat the Ravens. Do not underestimate number 15 as an underdog here. But the Bills, I think, because of the Chiefs being undefeated, they have kind of flown under the radar. No longer coming in 8-2. They need to show up with that new offense and that new defense. Super.
I believe that this is going to be the closest game of the week. And I think that it's going to come down, like last week, to a last-minute field goal. I'm not putting any skin in this game because I could see the defenses playing the biggest part in this going under, but then I could see the two quarterbacks absolutely taking over and this going over. Ultimately, I do believe that the Bills could come away with a win. I just love the way that they're looking right now, and the Chiefs are playing too close. They have been walking too close to the sun, and I think this time they might get burned.
Ace says it would be sick to see the Chiefs go undefeated. Ace, it would be, but there's a lot of landmines between now and then, just like the guys are saying. I kid a lot, Charles, but I'm also understanding that only one team has ever gone undefeated. It probably will not happen. If they're going to lose, there's a very good chance in this game they will, but it begs the question, will Taylor Swift be there?
Good question. This is the ultimate monitor spot. As of yesterday, I was looking at Kansas City. Now I'm kind of looking at the Bills, or this could be a middle position. You could look at the money line and then kind of get it up to 3 on the Chiefs. But what's really catching my eye is the under. I think this is going to be a defensive battle, field goal props. I think the under is the best way to attack this one.
Did you guys know sometimes you can't make these little nuggets up? Peyton, do you know where Taylor Swift is in concert the night before the Chiefs-Bills game?
No, I actually don't.
Way to do your homework there, young Peyton.
Thanks. Yeah.
Toronto. It's only an hour's drive across the border. Is Travis Kelce going to sneak out of the room? Going to sneak out and go see his boo? And then she can then come across the border on Sunday afternoon. You never know. Game number 3, Raphael, and it was confirmed overnight that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have kind of dismissed the whole Debo kicker long snapper situation. And the 49ers now come home after getting past the Bucs. They're laying 6.5. The Seahawks, they didn't play this week. They're going to come in healthy. Is this once again too many points? Because last week they were favored by 7 and did not cover.
No, because I think CMC has a better game this week. It has a game underneath his belt. And I agree with Z-Man yesterday, who broke down the fight that the 49ers have. I think Debo was just excited for Jones fighting on Saturday and Tyson fighting on Friday. He was just a little pumped. That's all it was. But I like the 49ers spot. The Seahawks defense is horrible. The Bills put up 31 points in a blink of an eye on them. So now a 49ers healthier team coming into this game at home. I think I'm shocked this one's not 7. This will be a solid 7 by kickoff.
Very interesting. Yeah, Big Cheesy's weighing in. Yeah, that was nothing. No big deal. Everyone's making it a big deal. Peyton, we normally don't see a stud running back / wide receiver get frustrated over kickers, but he had missed 3. He was 3 for 6 in this game. You normally don't even have 6 attempts, but the 49ers now, do you think they'll start to give CMC a little bit more run? Last week it was 13 carries, just 39 yards in his first game of the season.
Yeah, 100%. The more games that they get under their belt, the healthier he is. And you know, I think 6.5 is too small of a spread. The Niners are going to dominate this game with McCaffrey back. And I know he only had 3 yards per carry, this past week, but I'm not too worried about that because he still had 6 receptions for almost 70 yards. And I think the Niners offense will be too much for Seattle to handle. And that's why I'd take the Niners to cover.
Wow, Peyton's got a lot of takes today, Charles, that he's dismissing. He's taking the haves, and he's dismissing these have-nots. And the Seahawks, they've been all over the board this year. But going on the road to the 49ers I might have to agree with Peyton on this one.
I'm kind of liking the Seahawks in this spot. I would like to really get them at 7, especially if they get DK Metcalf back. But this one is another with the total. I had 49.5. Now I'm seeing 50.5 on the board. So we're expecting a high scoring game. Plus 49ers against NFC West to win over in 9 of their last 11. So I think we're going to see points in this one. And I would kind of lean towards the Seahawks to cover. But definitely a monitor to see where that number lands come Sunday.
And depending on the point, I kind of like Super. You got about 30 seconds. Buying a point up to 7.5 when it makes sense. Does it make sense here?
It does. Division games are always just kind of hard to predict because these teams are familiar with themselves. The defense of Seattle is just not working. We're hoping that DK could come back because that passing game is the most important part of their offense. If they can't get the ball out, they can't stretch the ball, they don't score. And that's what DK does. He is that vertical stretch the field type of guy. It's a big thing if he plays or not this week.
All right, a lot of big games, and we're starting to see now that we're into the middle of November, you're going to have Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks. You're going to have a Friday game for the Chiefs. So all these players need to be laser focused and now start to think about the playoffs. 7 teams, only 1 bye. Right now, that would be the Chiefs. And that would be the Lions, who had a great comeback despite 5 interceptions by Jared Goff this past week. Still to come, the rivalry heats up here on DTL. PrizePicks. Are we going more? Are we going less? It's young Peyton against Big Soupy, and it's after the bottom of the hour right here, DTL on Stadium. All right, all you degenerates out there watching on our YouTube channel that continues to grow by the day. Thank you very much. This just came out, Soupy, on ESPN. Cowboys Dak Prescott to have season-ending surgery, but the prognosis is wonderful. How can that be in the same headline?
Because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Who the heck knows what's going on? I mean, you saw him last week. Cooper Rush didn't play well. And then, here comes Trey Lance time for one play. And then Cooper Rush back. And then Trey Lance. And then the sun is bothering us. Where's the sun? Where's the moon? It's just crazy right now in Dallas. Can we just end this regular season just to stop talking about him?
A lot of Cowboys fans want to, Charles. They really, really do. When you lose by 28, and that's the biggest topic, is the sun coming in, so they wouldn't have lost 34-13. What are we doing?
Well, Jerry says we have 8 games left, but just remember, teams that played the Lions next week, they tend to falter. So this may be a spot to back the Texas against the Texans and the Cowboys, the Battle of Texas. So, but yeah, I understand, Raphael, but hey, you may have to go with it. It's been proven, but that's Jerry still telling us there's hope. So we shall see.
Raphael.
I don't think so. I mean, it's disastrous in California. They're talking about Deion Sanders as their new head coach for next year. That's how bad the Dallas Cowboys are right now. And when the doctor says you have great outcome during the surgery, all doctors said that. I've heard that 7 times, and I've still had to go under 7 more times. That's just nothing.
Young Peyton, you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. What are they saying there locally?
Well, I've been eavesdropping on. I serve tables. I've been eavesdropping on the Cowboys fans' conversations, and they are all just looking for other teams to root on for. Hey, who are we rooting for the playoffs? So I mean, they're looking for a different team. They are terrible, and like I had mentioned last week, they give up so many points, and then now they score 6. That's not going to help.
I just have you in my head just walking with the plates and just kind of sticking your head out there trying to listen to everybody talking about how much the Cowboys absolutely suck. Oh, my goodness. All right, Big Cheesy says Dak is so overrated. He always has been, and his contract always comes up at exactly the right time. We're back in 3 seconds. All right, we have crossed the bottom of the hour and a couple of very important items as we welcome you back to DTL on Stadium, simulcast on YouTube, also 4 Eastern. And by the way, TJ was asking, when will that be, 4 p.m. be the initial one? That will start tomorrow. So tomorrow, 4 p.m., we will start that block every single day right before You Better You Bet with Nick Costos and his crew over there as well. And that will continue to grow after the first of the year. Big plans. By the way, producer man, I need to see my 5 shot because this is very important. John says that Kelsey said on his podcast, the $100 million podcast, by the way, guys, that he's not going. And Taylor said she will not be going to any away games because of security reasons. You remember what happened last year in the playoff game when they all went and Jason Kelsey took his shirt off and he was chugging beers with the fans, right? Not going to see that this year. No, Taylor. No, boo. No, boo. Now, John's girlfriend apparently is going. He says, my girlfriend is going to see Swift in Toronto and wouldn't shut up about it, seeing Travis, so I had to do some homework, so I didn't have to hear about it anymore. John, I agree with you. It continues. She was all business, by the way. Yes, Raphael, go.
Well, we had Taylor Swift over under 2.5 road games this year that she would attend, so that's a great news because everybody bet it over.
Do you ever look at some of the things you have to do and go, what is my life?
You should see my phone. If you saw my phone, it's sad. We'll put it that way. It's just sad.
All right. We embrace PrizePicks here at DTL, and we very much think that in our very near future, they will be a big part of this show. So we're going to start right here and right now. Soupy, he's employed by PrizePicks, so he's our resident expert. But then we bring in young Peyton, who says, Coach, I can take Soupy down each and every week. So, Soupy, you're our OG. There is certain lingo we have to use. We have to educate and entertain there. So, where are you going for this week's little tete-a-tete with young Peyton?
First off, I am so happy I finally have my name and my symbol on the PrizePicks this year. Thank you. We're starting with the NBA. Derek White, have you seen the Boston Celtics court? It's got the big old Larry O'Brien trophy right in the middle, looking great. Derek White is second on the team in assists, going against Atlanta, who have allowed the most assists per game to the point guard position, and he had 6 the last time he went against the Hawks. I think he goes well over this number. And then we're going to look at Karl-Anthony Towns. We're going with the Demon against the 76ers. Joel Embiid possibly making his debut tonight, but I don't think he's going to get a lot of minutes, maybe 30 at the max. And the Sixers are 20th in rebounds allowed to their opponent. And then let's go a little more Marion Lukes. He's going to get a volume play this week against Toledo. They're very middle of the pack offense in terms of rushing yards allowed per carry. But also, Central Michigan is playing their third string quarterback. That's why I think he's going to get a lot of run, going well over 69 yards.
How'd you feel about that, Soupy?
I'm going to give myself a 7.9.
Right. It might have been. It might have been over 8 if not for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Might have been over.
I was trying to look at where I forgot it was Central Michigan.
I would forget that too.
Yeah.
All right, so we see Soupy's glorious beard on his picture, and the reason he's so upset is because Peyton comes in, and in the very first week he has his name, and it kind of just rolls off the tongue. Peyton's Prize Picks. Go, young man.
Yeah, it's still. I know we're both taking Derek White, but it's still a competition. I'm taking his points more than 17.5. Now, the Hawks allow 24 points a game against opposing shooting guards, and if you want to call him a point guard like Soupy did, they allow 26 a game to those guys. And with the Celtics at home, where he shoots 40% from the three, I definitely like that he's going to get at least 18 points or more tonight. Next, I'm going with Paul George, more than 17.5 points. This guy just needs 18.5 points. Excuse me, last night it was 17. He needs to get it going at some point, and what better time to do it than at home in a rivalry game against the Knicks, who allow 25 points a game to small forwards. He went just 1 for 9 from the three in the previous game 2 nights ago, and he's going to have a nice bounce-back game tonight because that's what stars do. And my demon pick is going to be Mike Conley, more than 2.5 3-pointers made. He's up against a Portland team who plays just no defense, and he's hit this in 2 of his last 4 games. So I'm a little confused why this is a demon pick, but I would gladly take this for a bigger payout.
All right, real quick, in about 15 seconds, explain what a demon pick is for people who don't know.
So a demon pick is just going to give you a bigger payout on PrizePicks. If you take the regular 3-play pick, that's not a demon pick, it's going to give you 5 times your money. I believe if you take my pick today, it'll give you 6 or maybe 6.5 or 7.
Is that correct, Soupy?
Demon picks you can get up to 100 times multiplier. So if you want to take a risk, grab that demon pick.
As Z says, you want to go crazy? Let's get crazy right here on DTL. All right, we will monitor those Prize Picks, and if I know Peyton and Soupy like I think I do, there's going to be a little bit of trash talking going on the next 24 hours or so. All right, you guys know every single day it's not just about the picks. It's not just about betting. We also try to educate, entertain. Now, we know that Mr. LeBron James is an ambassador for DraftKings. How that's allowed, I don't know, but we've moved past that point of it. But, Raphael, this came out the other night in Toronto. Apparently, there was a fan yelling at LeBron about needing one more rebound. I think it was about hitting a triple-double bet. That hasn't been confirmed. But he gets the rebound and then points, and it wasn't like the guy was at courtside. He was like up in the 20th row. How is LeBron hearing that? And do you have a problem with LeBron pointing at a guy for confirming that he would hit his triple-double and or bet?
Not a problem at all. They've been doing this forever. Now that gambling is just in the forefront of the United States, this has been going on for years. I remember when I was in Vegas for the NBA Summer League, when Tyrone Lue and all these guys, they all knew the point spreads. They all knew what they were supposed to average and what they were supposed to do. Everyone knows the point spreads. Everyone knows what they're supposed to score, assists, rebounds. This doesn't shock me at all. This is not old news. We're going to hear stories after stories after stories.
Peyton, NBA is your thing. Real quick, I want to hear what LeBron had to say about that. Producer man, roll tape.
What was that moment with the fans to get that final rebound? Speaking of rebounds down the stretch, and you point at him.
Well, yeah, he definitely yelled at me, got my attention, said, "One more rebound." I was like, "What?" He was like, "One more." So I got one more, and I pointed at him to acknowledge that I was listening. So I appreciate it to that guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Elliott said it was for sure for the LeBron triple-double. He cast the plus 450 ticket that particular day. Peyton, are you surprised that he would admit to hearing the fan talk about that?
No, I think it's pretty funny too, and well, it is entirely different from Kevin Durant as well, who posted on his Twitter about 10 days ago. Great dubs, sons. I'm quoting here. Great dubs, sons, and for my parlayers, better luck next time. LOL. So now we know why everyone calls LeBron the king, because he looks out for us, all of us, and so I'm very happy that LeBron did that. It's pretty funny.
I kind of think so too. I mean, Soupy, he's in all these DraftKings commercials, which surprised me at the beginning. But all these guys understand what their numbers is. And if I was an NBA player, I would want to cash as many tickets on myself as possible also.
Absolutely. I want my fans to love me because I get you your parlays. LeBron knows what his numbers are. You're right. LeBron also can hear. Every player can hear because they're that close to the court. And going on Peyton, KD had some words to say because the people on Twitter were talking about how KD would never do that for them. And I remember I looked at one. He said, "I won't F with people like you." So KD, he's getting a little emotional about people not hitting their bets with him.
KD, towards the end of his career, has really not become the baby face that I thought he would always be. Remember we won the MVP? This one's for mom. Now he's like, F all you. Him and Stephen A. Smith are at each other's throats. What are we doing? Now, also in the NBA, Charles, the Cavs very quietly are 12-0. Best start by an NBA team since the Dubs, Golden State, back in 2015, 2016. Yet, as I look at the futures for the NBA to win the NBA title, they are plus 1,500. There are 6 teams ahead of them. Is this disrespect?
Very much so, and they were behind last night and come back and won, especially in the East where it's not as strong. So I was kind of surprised to see this. So I think they're the class right now. That can't be disputed. So yeah, if you like them, you better jump on now because I'll be surprised to see what it is by Christmas time if that number's still hanging around.
Yeah, they continue. And right now it's plus 285, Raphael, for the Boston Celtics. They've gotten off to a really good start, but we know when you're a defending champion, it's really, really hard. But to go 12-0 and to have this team, and the Cavs really haven't had a lot of hype since LeBron left town a second time, how good do you think, if at all, for the NBA that the Cavs have gotten off to the start?
Well, Cleveland needs it because they got the Browns in that city, so the Cavs really need this start. But they've played a weak schedule. They played the Pelicans, who have injuries, the Bulls, I think the Bucks twice. They have had an easy schedule, but hats off to them. Their bench is the real reason why they're undefeated. They have, I think, 6 or 7 guys averaging double-digit minutes coming into this game. So I just like the way the role players are stepping up, but they won't be around. They still play the Celtics next Tuesday.
Very interesting. Rob says KD is the softest superstar of all time. I'll die on that hill. Rob, I think there'd be a few people on that same hill with you. Young Peyton, let me come over to you because the Cavs are certainly not an OG team in the NBA, and they're barely on national TV. I wonder if they get off to one of those magical 25-5 starts, if maybe we'll start to see that a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with Raphael. They have 6 guys who are actually averaging more than 10 points. So it's just a lot of ball movement right now, and everyone's knocking down shots, and they look really good. They're playing really well as a team. But the reason they're so high, or there's such low odds for them to win the championship, it's just because it comes down to star power in the playoffs, and I just don't think they have it compared to other teams. So I think Tatum and those guys really step up in the playoffs versus I know Donovan Mitchell had 50 points when they played in the playoffs last time, but I just don't think they have it compared to other teams.
Yeah, it is all about star power. And right now, as you look at the odds over at DraftKings, you got the Thunder, even though last night, my man S, I always lose the initials. You know who I'm talking about. He had 45 last night. Chet Holmgren is going to be out for an extended period of time, but they're still the second betting favorite at DraftKings at plus 450. Then you got the new look Knicks. Then you got the Nuggets. Then the Dallas Mavericks, who of course went to the finals last year, and the T-Wolves, led by Anthony Edwards. Those are your top 6 as far as the odds are concerned. Having a good time on a Tuesday. It's a vibe. We are live only on Stadium. All right, you degenerates out there. As a reminder, I told you at the top of the show, a lot of new people have come in since then. Starting tomorrow on Wednesday, we will only be on YouTube in the morning. Nothing changes. This was always the plan. And then we will air at 4 p.m. Eastern time to start the sports betting block on Stadium in the afternoon. Then Mondays and Thursdays, Primetime Live will continue as usual, but on Sunday, both shows will only be on our gorgeous, thanks to AB and producer man, YouTube pays. Now, Charles, let me come over to you because as we head into Week 11, a lot of injuries in the NBA have been overlooked. I actually saw a list. What do you think has been a bigger loss? Zion, Jet, Embiid? The NBA, not only you talk about star power, if they don't have these star powers, I think we could see an all-time low-rated NBA season on TV and streaming this year.
Yeah, I'll be biased. It would be Zion for me because he's such a huge part of this Pelicans team. But, I mean, they're all huge factors for these teams going forward. But I'll go with Zion, even though the other two are crucial components for success for their teams.
Raphael, we got Banchero, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the list goes on and on.
I think Orlando's Banchero's probably the one. Yes, these big guys are getting hurt, but that's because the pace of the NBA is fast, and these big guys can't keep up. And Zion, he's always hurt. He's never on the court. But I just think the pace of the game of what we're looking at the NBA with shooting the three-pointers and how pace is so fast, I think that's why we're seeing injuries.
20 seconds each. Young Peyton, what's the biggest injury so far for you?
I think Embiid's the biggest. The Sixers have no offense without him. Maxey can't score 40 points every game, and you're going to have a bad shooting night. So we haven't seen much from the Sixers yet, and I just hope Embiid gets back.
Soupy.
Embiid's back, but Maxey is out. But I'm looking at Banchero too because Orlando has completely fallen since he's been out. He was basically their best offensive player. Now they don't have him. They've been losing a lot lately without him.
Embiid's back, but he had the suspension. Maxey, that's a big one too. He got his money. My goodness, CJ McCollum, Aaron Gordon, Chris Middleton. I mean, I've never seen the start of a season like this in the National Basketball Association. We are back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, we are back. It is a vibe. It's a Tuesday. It's the hardest day of the week to get through, but we will do it always here at DTL. And by the way, if you're not a premium member, I encourage you to join us live every single day, and maybe you'll get gifted a membership because a lot of people are doing that now. If you have a good day or a good week, we have the ability to give a membership out. And also coming up in the next couple of weeks, look out for this. This is why you got to follow us. We're starting some new content, I should say, here at DTL, but also at BTT. All right, let's stay in baseball real quick before we get to the whip around, because I thought this was interesting because I saw a lot of the headlines, whether you're talking Fox or ESPN, Raphael, and it says Ohtani, a finalist, Judge, a finalist, Soto, a finalist. To me, I forgot that they don't vote on the MVP till after the season. And Judge has had a horrible World Series, and these are human beings making these votes. Should they start thinking about changing this? Because from a betting aspect, it really hurts us, I believe.
If you're holding a ticket, yes, it really hurts to wait this long, but they do it to keep MLB in a limelight during football season, so that on a random Wednesday, Thursday, you can say Ohtani won the MVP and maybe take some of that glare off the NFL and NBA and college basketball. That's why they hold it off. But I mean, we all know Ohtani's going to win MVP and Judge are going to win MVP. Nothing shocking.
That's true, but what if they don't, Soupy? What if Juan Soto somehow snags a few votes because of the postseason he had? Much better than Judge.
I still think Judge is going to win the MVP, but I don't think it's going to be as unanimous. I do agree that Soto could take some of those votes now. And this is just another thing that the MLB keeps messing up. Please have the votes in at the end of the regular season and maybe have an award show on TV the night before the World Series. Try something different, MLB. You are so old. You play old and you look old. That's why people are stopped watching the game.
And this is why apparently I am behind. I just got a text from a person I trust very, very much. And if this is the case, then it's even more confusing to the betting public because it just came out today. I was just told MVP votes are cast before the postseason even starts, but they're waiting until today to announce the finalists. Why don't they just wait till today and announce the winner? Why is it finalists and then we wait another couple days? Young Peyton, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. Then they try to tell you that the postseason really has nothing to do with it, like that it's really just a regular season long, bet, or who had the best regular season. And so why don't you just finish the voting right after the season? It doesn't make any sense. It just gets people in their head thinking about how bad Judge was when he's going to win the MVP anyway, just because of how great of a regular season he had.
You're exactly right, Charles. Even if this is the case and they cast him before, the fact that we've waited now 2 weeks to announce it, it doesn't make any sense.
0 sense. But could you imagine if Judge would have won it right after the season, then been the MVP, and then had the playoffs that he did? So that could have been a no-win scenario for him. But I agree. They need to, speed up the process. But this is just what we deal with in the MLB.
Can you imagine if they did that? Coming to the plate, your American League MVP. 1 for 14 in the World Series so far. Aaron, rise for the Judge. All right. I know there's a lot of you. I see the live number always rising. You guys have a lot to do. Sometimes you can't tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and that's okay. Today, in theaters right now, the Whip Around brought to you by Weekend in Taipei.
You said no more secrets.
Shut up and let me drive. Come on, who is this guy?
I'm an undercover DEA agent. Defining Dick Kwong's operation now.
Bring me my wife, and you killed John Mahler.
So you came back after all this time for Kwong, but not for me?
I just need 1 weekend. I'm not gonna lose you again. So you haven't changed a bit.
Thanks.
Weekend in Taipei, now playing only in theater.
If you haven't got out there, I encourage you to do it and do it this week. Rob says it's Ohtani and Judge, and it's not close. And, Rob, I think everybody agrees with you. Now that Ohtani went to the National League, they both can win an MVP because the last couple of years they've been fighting it out. How about maybe we do an American League, National League, and then an overall MVP? That would be a novel concept. That would be something that we can change. All right, in the Whip Around, if you're new to our little brand, DTL, we have 10 seconds or less for each play. 1 or 2 nuggets. That is all. Raphael, start us off.
I can't wait to watch that movie tonight because I'm actually going to finally see it. But give me Ball State team total over 24.5 even money. Ball State's last 9 games, 8 of them have gone over the total. Give me Catman. Give me Karl Anthony Towns over 33.5 points and rebounds. I'll lay the $120.
Soupy, let's go.
Ball State and Buffalo both are scoring 30 and allowing 30. Both the players play to the strengths. This is going to be an over, and then I'm going to the hockey. The Maple Leafs, great at full strength. Senators, great in the power play. That's going to equal to the over 6.
Charles, you got one big play. Golden State, talk to me.
Emirates NBA Cup, Mavs Warriors. Warriors come in averaging 121, and Dallas allows 117 on the road. I'll go ahead and grab Warriors team total over 116.5.
They have gotten off to a great 8-2 start. Young Peyton, NBA, it's your thing.
The Phoenix Suns to win by 4 tonight, Coach, at minus 112. People are probably wondering why they're only favored by 4. KD's out. It's the NBA Cup. Who cares? Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. It's all I need to hear for them to take care of a terrible 2-7 Utah Jazz squad. Then I'm going Dallas Mavericks plus 2.5, minus 110. The Mavericks have too much star power in Luka and Kyrie to lose 3 games in a row. They're coming off some tough losses. I think they're going to win the game tonight. I do think it's going to be close. That's why I'm taking the plus 2.5. And quick side note, how awesome would it be to see Klay Thompson go off in his return to Oracle tonight?
I completely forgot about that. That would be amazing. I really hope that he does. That's a very, very good point. I really hope that he does. By the way, the Mavericks are 5-5. Golden State is 8-2. And Young Peyton, you weren't on the show yet, but about a year and a half ago, right before Klay Thompson teamed up with Steph Curry to play in the match against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, I played golf with Klay Thompson. And I should have bet the house against him. He's a terrible golfer. But me and my son JJ got to play with him. They were betting $1,000 a hole. $1,000 a hole. And that's how bad golfers lose a lot of money. They like to bet a lot, but they're terrible. And Klay, if you're listening, shout out, call me. We'll play in the off season.
I didn't know JJ had that much money.
He did actually read every single putt for him. I should show the video one time here on the show. The last hole, I kid you not, like a 50-footer, and JJ was reading every putt for him, said, put it here. He made like a 50-footer. They're chest bumping, him and Klay Thompson.
Cool.
I have it on video. I'll play it for you guys sometime. Swear to God. All right, we got 2 more housekeeping items, and then we got to get the hell out of Dodge. Enjoy our day, and all of you need to take the DTL vibe into your universe. Our Howie Schwab crew play of the day. You're going with Duke tonight, minus the 6 over Kentucky. And then also we have football. We've had it every day since the beginning of October, and that is where we find Rafi's stat of the day, which is...
Well, hopefully we can rebound from yesterday's stat of the day because it was a dud, but Ball State is 6-1 against the spread on Tuesday night MAC action games. Very interesting because they're 10-1 against the spread in conference games.
Boom and boom. Love myself a little action. John says, I think you posted that video to Twitter, right, Coach? I believe that I did. And John says, Otani MVP, Coach is playing it at minus 20,000. Very funny, John. Very, very funny.
That's good value still.
By the way, Big Cheesy says, Rafi stat of the day, catch as usually. It's starting to catch on, Rafi. It's starting to catch on.
I need to keep track of it.
Hey, Peyton, I got about 20 seconds for you, big boy. How confident are you today that you're going to take down your bitter rival, Soupy?
Feeling really good about it today. I need a bounce back from PrizePicks my second night on this show last week, so I'm feeling really good about tonight.
Soupy, your response?
I don't like a couple of his plays. I don't know if I like the Mike Conley play, but I'm confident in mine as usual. I don't bet anything I won't win.
Big Cheesy says, why does Soupy have so many rivals? Because he's barrel-chested, baby. He's got thick shoulders. He can handle them all. All right, what a good show today. I love Tuesdays. They're not the easiest day to get through, but we're going to be here regardless. Time for you to all go out into the world, pay it forward, be kind to one another, be honest with each other. That's the only way that this thing can work. And understand this, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, lovable. My numbers guy, Raphael. My man from the dirty, dirty Big Chuck. Best beard in the game, Soupy. And young Peyton from Dallas-Fort Worth. Never forget about producer man. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. Remember tomorrow, only on YouTube in the morning, 4 Eastern on Stadium. Good luck.